guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. I am here without Sam because we literally just hopped off recording Talking C's with Bobby Kravitsky, and the Celtics decided to sign somebody. The Celtics have signed Drew Peterson, according to Woj, to their two-way contract. The Celtics just released Nathan Knight yesterday as I'm recording this and as you guys are seeing this, and they have zeroed in on Drew Peterson for the two-way contract, and they have officially signed him according to Peterson's agents, Mike Silverman and Troy Payne. Troy Peterson, 6'9" forward out of USC, has been playing for the Sioux Falls Skyforce, the Heat's G League team this season, averaging 15 points, 5.5 rebounds, 4 assists a game, shooting 41% from three and 53% from the field, averaging a steal and half a block a game. Went undrafted. He is 24 years old, I believe, maybe 25, 24, 25. How old does that make him? November 9th, 1999. That would make him 24 years old, right? I'm trying to do math in my head. Make him 24 years old. He played for, let me double check here for y'all. How many years did he play at USC? Sorry, this just happened now. I'm trying to catch up. I just wrote an article yesterday about guys the Celtics could potentially sign for their two-way spot. And of course, I did not include Drew Peterson. I tried to pin it on the head, but I failed. He actually played 5 years of college ball, started at Rice, and then ended up going to USC. Spent 3 years at USC, with his last and final year being the most points. However, his second to last year in college being his most efficient was a 36% three-point shooter in college, though he topped out at 41% in his first senior season at USC. Obviously got next year because of the COVID rule. Drew Peterson is from Illinois, went to Libertyville High School in Illinois, went to Rice and then USC. And we're going to check out some of his highlights, as we always do with new Celtics players, give our thoughts. Seems like he could be another Sam Hauser type. Very clearly comfortable with the ball in his hands, as we saw there. Nice little spin move on Vermont. I'm not going to include the copyright film unless it takes the video down, but we shall see. Gets out in transition, can dunk the ball like Sam Hauser. Feels like the Celtics could benefit from developing another guy who is comfortable shooting the ball. Shooting for him looks a bit weird, not as fluid as Sam Hauser. He looks comfortable with the ball in his hand, comfortable driving, created for himself, looks very, very, very skinny from what I'm seeing. He is listed at 6'9", 205, so he is a skinny, scrawny guy. Could benefit from putting some pounds on. But the Celtics are looking to bring him in here. Shooting form is not as fluid as Sam Hauser's, though that is a very high bar. Sam Hauser's one of the best shooting forms in the league. That was a nice little dump in pass there to his teammate at USC. Yeah, sorry. Sam's texting me. He's stuck in traffic. That was an interesting shooting form there. Watch this. Look at the ball like hitch. Look at his hand around the ball there. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about the shooting form. I mean, he obviously is efficient. Here he's running the break. Can get up. Excuse me. I mean, he's obviously a good player. He's putting up good numbers. He's a good passer for his size, averaging 4 assists, in the G League is no joke. Comfortable finishing around the rim, as we see there. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. It's interesting. It's once the Celtics, is there a hitch there? I can't tell if he's got a hitch in his jumper. I don't know. Once the Celtics got rid of Nathan Knight, it did seem pretty clear that they had their eyes on somebody, right? You don't just not sign a G League guy. You don't just cut a G League guy with no other plans in mind. Some people speculated they could be waiting for the winter showcase, but it does seem now that they were looking to get their hands on Drew Peterson. Sam Hauser is going to be making a lot of money in a couple of years. I wonder if this is the Celtics starting to look for a potential Sam Hauser replacement if it comes to that. Obviously, I think they should keep Sam Hauser and just pay him the money. However, with the new CBA, it does get difficult to pay guys, especially if another team is willing to offer Sam Hauser a lot of money for what he's doing, because that is the type of stuff he'll get. Nice little block and transition there from Drew Peterson. Nice pass, comfortable with the ball in his hands. I think that might be the thing I'm most impressed with is his comfortability with the ball in his hand. The shooting form is obviously efficient. He wasn't efficient in all 4 years of college, but it does seem like once he got to a spot where he could really just focus on catch and shoot, he has been efficient. I mean, he's shooting in the G League this year, 13 games, 8 starts, shooting 40.7% on 4.5 threes a game. So he's clearly an efficient 3-point shooter. Um, but I think what impresses me most about him so far is how comfortable he is having the ball in his hands, making the plays and passing to others. Can create for himself on the post a little bit, which is not really something you see from Sam Hauser. I wonder how much it'll translate to the NBA. Um, again, I just don't know how I feel about his catch and shoot. It does seem like it doesn't get off the shot as quickly as some of the best shooters in the league. It almost looks more like Max Strus than Hauser, which I mean, it works for Strus, so that's not a complaint. But it does seem like he has a little bit of a pause at the apex of his jump shot. Peterson's agent said Drew Peterson is expected to join the Celtics as soon as Thursday, which is tomorrow, as you guys are seeing this. I don't know. The shot looks a little wonky to me. You can't really criticize it. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's shot looks weird, but it goes in, and that's what matters. Comfortable working in the post. I think what intrigues me most from watching these clips of Drew Peterson, this is the first time seeing of him, is everything outside the shooting. I think that's what should intrigue people about him as well. He's obviously an efficient shooter, and he's comfortable catch and shooting, as we just saw there. And regardless of how the jump shot looks, if it's not as quick, it's got a little bit of a hitch back. It goes in at a 41% clip, which is what you want from developmental guys. But I think what's most important is how comfortable he is with the ball in his hands, working inside, getting shots down low, making plays for others, averaging 4 assists in the G League. 4 assists, excuse me, in the G League is big time.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 money bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action, NFL. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including you got spreads, you get your player props, you got over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Curious to see how he is defensively. We've seen a couple of things where he can get in passing lanes. Unsure of just how effective he is in that spot. I wonder if I can find some clips of him defensively heading into the draft. He went undrafted, obviously, but I wonder if there is anything from his season. It doesn't look like I see any defensive specific clips, but he had a couple big games at USC. I mean, he's comfortable. I think that's the biggest thing. He looks very comfortable shooting the ball, very comfortable with the ball in his hands. He's a very efficient shooter, can create for himself. 6'9", he's got size. That's a nice block from him there. I wonder how good he is at staying with guys on the perimeter. I really like everything. I don't want to say I don't like the shooting. I do like the shooting. Obviously, that is the draw. You see a guy shooting 41% from deep on, 4.5 attempts a game. That is what pops out. But everything else is what makes him such an intriguing prospect. That pass you just saw right there, right? His ability to find guys on the floor, his comfortability creating his own looks, his ability to work in the post and inside. Like, you can see the outline. Like, look at that pass. He's got vision, right? Like, everything else, it looks like he started his career as a guard, and now he is just 6'9" and can develop into a nice connector piece. And we've seen that from Sam Hauser this season, but it looks like he's had to learn it. It looks like Drew Peterson knows how to do that and has known it. That's not me saying he's better than Sam Hauser. I don't think he's better than Sam Hauser. I don't think he's as good of a defender as Sam Hauser. He doesn't look as quick or as comfortable positioning wise from the brief clips I've seen on that end. However, you can see why this is somebody the Celtics would want to take a chance on. Because look at that, right? Sam Hauser's not doing that, right? Like a lot of these spot up shooters aren't doing that. Drew Peterson might not be as good of a pure catch and shoot, give you 3 threes a night, take 10 threes a night guy, but he looks like a guy who can do that and create for himself. And look at those passes. Like he is a very comfortable ball handler, right? At 6'9", that is not a common thing you see with role players. Usually guys who are 6'9" and can pass the ball and handle the ball like that are Jason Tatums, are Jaylen Browns, are these, Paul George, are these high level wings. You don't see that a lot in role players, guys who can do all this and create for themselves. Obviously, these are college clips, but if he's comfortable doing this even on a large scale in college, you have to imagine he's comfortable doing it on a small scale in the G League and in the NBA. So just the fact that he's comfortable making these passes and he's willing and able to make these passes in general is impressive. And I think that's probably what the Celtics saw when they went to sign him. I'm sure we'll talk about this in the full pod, which drops tomorrow, so Sam can give some of his thoughts there as well. But from what I'm seeing, it's a lot of the in-between stuff that's so impressive. He is very skinny, though. Wow. I mean, he's probably bulked up a little since college. In this short stint with the Sioux Falls Skyforce with the Heat's G League team. But he is very skinny, very scrawny guy. He loves that little pump fake spin move in the post there. It's a good tool. It's a good tool to have in the arsenal. The passing is impressive to me. That's his ability to find guys. You like the way he can work on the inside too. I don't know. It's intriguing. It's intriguing. This is an archetype of guy that I can see the Celtics wanting to take a chance on. It's like a second chance at building another Sam Hauser, because with the new CBA, you do need to be worried, or not worried, but like you need to be conscious of how much guys are getting paid and always have a good farm system coming up the pipeline and guys who can turn into these role players. And the Celtics have started finding those guys in the likes of Sam Hauser and Luke Cornett. And so if this guy can, and even Nemish Queta, who's shown some signs. So if you can find another one, like this is a good chance to do that. So I liked your Peterson. I think the shot could be a little bit weird. I think there's a little bit of a hitch. I don't think it's a huge issue. Again, if it's working, it's going in. It's clearly going in the G League. Didn't see much defensively from there, which makes me think he's probably not the best defender. He just doesn't look quite as quick or quite as fluid in terms of his movement. However, all of the other stuff on offense, his passing ability looked great, and he's averaging 4 assists in the G League, so that tracks. And his comfortability working out of the post and creating his own shots, that's something huge too. So I think both those things make him an intriguing prospect. Makes sense why the Celtics want to keep their eye on him. Again, he's been putting up some good stats in the G League this year. Looking at that one more time, he's averaging 15.2 points, 5.5 rebounds, 4.2 assists, shooting 2.8% on 11.1 attempts from the field, and 40.7% from three on 4.5 attempts from there, and shooting well from the free throw line. He looks like the type of guy the Celtics would want to take a chance on, rightfully so. I'm excited to see what he can do. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe to How About Them Celtics. Check me and Sam out on Twitter at JackSimoneNBA and at Sam LaFrance NBA. And we'll see you. Pod drops tomorrow, 5 a.m. We'll talk about Drew Peterson more and some other Celtic stuff. Make sure to check that out. And thank y'all for tuning in. See you guys later. Bye.
Taco. Come on.
Taco's having some fun here.